Under a star-dusted sky, crickets chirp softly in a quiet eastern Nigerian village, a symphony of the night. A small fire crackles softly, making the light move and dance. The warm glow lights up everyone's faces like magic. Nneka, an old woman, sits by the fire. The light shines in her eyes as she tells a story to the children. The smell of the fire and the damp earth fills the air, making the moment feel special and mysterious. The children sit still, faces glowing in the firelight, completely absorbed in Nneka's tale. Nneka's hut glows with firelight, and the children watch as it twinkles across her kind, old face. Children huddle close, their faces upturned and captivated, hanging on Nneka's every word. Nneka's voice, raspy with age, weaves a cautionary tale. Children, listen well. When night comes and you hear footsteps outside your house, do not follow them. A small child's voice, full of innocent curiosity, asks, "Why, Mama Nneka?" Nneka's eyes darken, her voice dropping to a whisper. Because sometimes, those footsteps are not human. A nervous giggle ripples through the group, but Chika's eyes widen with genuine fright, his small body tensing in fear. In the hush of night, Chika lies beside his sleeping sister, their gentle breaths filling the small hut as crickets chirp softly. A sudden, rhythmic step, 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 shatters the stillness, a chilling intrusion into the night. Chika's eyes snap open, his heart hammering against his ribs, every nerve alert to the ominous sound. He slowly sits up, straining to hear, his gaze fixed on the unseen, a silent plea for answers in the dark. The rhythmic thud, thud, thud of unseen footsteps echoes, drawing Chika with an unsettling curiosity. Chika parts the woven blinds, his eye pressed against a narrow gap, searching the moonlit path. Moonlight paints long, stark shadows, but the path remains eerily empty despite the persistent footsteps. The unseen steps continue, with unwavering purpose, towards the ominous, dark forest bordering the village. As the sound of receding footsteps fades into the night, an ethereal whisper drifts through the air, barely audible yet clear. Chika freezes, his breath catching in his throat as the chilling whisper calls his name. Chika! He pulls back from the window, his entire body trembling, the spectral whisper echoing in his mind. His eyes wide with terror, Chika clutches himself, the phantom voice a haunting presence in the silent hut. In Chika's hut, an oil lamp casts dancing shadows as he lies awake, the darkness a heavy cloak. The chilling echo of a whisper from last night replays, haunting his thoughts. Outside his door, a rhythmic, beckoning sound begins. Step, 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 closer than ever. A potent mix of fear and curiosity churns within Chika, drawing him towards the unseen. Under the cloak of night, Chika carefully unlatches his hut door, a sliver of moonlight revealing his furtive movement. He tiptoes along the village path, soft moonlight guiding him quietly on his little adventure. The soft, steady sound of footsteps calls to him, leading him away from the sleeping huts into a new adventure. The further he walks, the cooler the air becomes, and a quiet, mysterious feeling grows near the forest. Chika moves deeper into the night, guided by the sound, a silent hunter on a mysterious trail. At the edge of the forest, Chika pauses. His small figure stands in the moonlight, unsure but curious. The forest trees stand like old guardians, their branches weaving together to make a mysterious ceiling of leaves. Footsteps tap softly from the shadows, like the forest itself is whispering, "Come this way." With a deep, fortifying breath, Chika steps into the overwhelming darkness, embracing the terrifying mystery ahead. The path becomes a little tunnel of vines and roots, and the village grows quiet behind him. The only sounds are the rustling leaves and the haunting hoot of a hidden owl, deepening the night's mystery. Chica tiptoes over the soft, damp ground, his eyes and ears open to every little sound and movement. He follows unseen footsteps, a ghostly presence guiding him deeper into the forest's dark, unknown heart. Chica steps out of the thick trees and finds himself at the riverbank, where the air feels calm and still. The river, usually a peaceful current, now reflects a menacing, inky blackness. An unnerving stillness grips the water, mirroring the dread in Chica's heart. A sudden, piercing coldness washes over Chica, prickling his skin with goosebumps. The air thickens with an unseen presence, a stark contrast to the village's warmth. Chica shivers as the air feels cool and mysterious, as if the forest is hiding a secret. The wet, sandy riverbank stretches, an eerie silence hanging heavy in the air. Suddenly, a single footprint appears in the sand, as if an unseen walker has emerged from the depths. More footprints appear in the soft ground, one after another, leading away from the river like a mysterious trail. The impossible sight sends a shiver down his spine, his blood running cold with inexplicable dread. A soft, melodic voice whispers directly behind Chica, sending a shiver down his spine. Chica's heart pounds as he slowly turns, his movements stiff with a fear he cannot name. At the river's edge, an ethereal woman stands, her long, dark hair dripping with water. Her eyes shimmer with a soft, magical light as she looks at Chica with curious intensity. A haunting whisper, "You came," escapes her lips, echoing in the still air. On the old riverbank, the air hangs heavy with anticipation as the river spirit takes a deliberate step toward Chica. Water, an ethereal veil, continuously drips from the river spirit's flowing dress, creating dark puddles on the sand. She gazes at Chica with a quiet, gentle sadness, as if sharing the weight of many years. Chica, visibly trembling, stands before the river spirit, her fear a palpable presence in the still air. Each drop of water from the river spirit's dress marks the sand, a silent testament to her sorrow. The riverbank is a stage for this tense encounter, where ancient grief meets present-day fear. The old riverbank hums with unseen energy as the river spirit, shimmering and indistinct, hovers above murky water. Its voice, a mere whisper, resonates with ancient, profound sadness, filling the air with sorrow. Chica, body trembling, struggles to catch his breath, caught in the spirit's ethereal presence. The spirit's glowing eyes, like twin moons, fix on the dark, swirling river, a silent, relentless force. A deep sorrow echoes in the spirit's words. "Your people forgot their promise." Chica, his voice strained, asks with a mix of fear and confusion. "What promise?" The river spirit's voice, colder than ancient river stones, cuts through the air, chilling Chica to her very core. Her words, heavy with a deep, ancient anger, hang in the air, creating an oppressive silence. Behind the river spirit, the river's surface begins to churn violently, mirroring her escalating fury. The water roils and foams, a raw display of nature's wrath, reflecting her escalating rage. The river spirit's voice rises. "Long ago, your elders promised this river a sacrifice every generation." Her eyes burn with accusation as she utters the chilling truth. But they stopped. The soft light of dawn filters into the village, stirring it to life as Chica's mother calls his name with growing concern. Silence answers her, a knot of fear tightening in her chest as she rushes into his empty hut, her eyes wide with dread. A horrifying realization dawns upon her. twisting her features into a mask of pure panic and maternal anguish. Her raw, piercing scream echoes through the awakening village, a chilling harbinger of unspoken terror. The village square pulses with a worried crowd, their faces etched with deep concern and fear for the lost boy, Chica. Villagers swiftly organize into desperate search parties, fanning out into the surrounding areas, their hope fading with each step. Calls for Chica echo through the air, a haunting chorus of names carried on the wind as time slips away. Hours crawl by, the desperate search yielding no sign of the boy, leaving only growing despair in its wake. Their path eventually leads them to Neka's hut, a final, desperate plea for answers hanging heavy in the air. Neka sits in her hut, a calm oasis amidst the villagers' rising panic. A deep sigh escapes Neka's lips, her eyes holding a knowing sadness that chills the air. The villagers stare at her, their faces full of confusion and terror, fear gripping their hearts. Neka's voice, heavy with foreboding, breaks the silence. It has started again. A villager, their voice trembling, asks, "What do you mean?" The weight of Neka's words hangs in the air, a dark cloud settling over the hut. Inside Neka's hut, her eyes sweep across the terrified faces of the concerned villagers. A palpable wave of ancient dread ripples through the small room, fear resurfacing like a tide. Neka's voice cuts through the tension, a chilling pronouncement. The river spirit has returned. Her eyes are grave as she warns, and she will keep taking until the promise is fulfilled. A group of villagers, armed with flickering lanterns, approaches the river, their faces grim with unspoken fear. The forest, their lanterns cast dancing shadows, illuminating their nervous, darting eyes as they peer into the inky blackness. Each step is cautious, a collective breath held tight against the palpable dread of the unknown. The riverbank looms, a dark, foreboding presence mirroring the terror etched on their faces. The night air, once filled with murmurs, is now pierced by the distinct, chilling sound of step, step, step. Villagers freeze, their faces etched with fear, as shaky lantern light dances wildly across the riverbank sand. Before their very eyes, wet footprints eerily begin to appear, forming as if an invisible entity walks among them. A palpable panic ripples through the group, their eyes wide with terror as the unseen presence draws near. The rhythmic, unseen footsteps echo across the riverbank, each sound a hammer blow to their fragile courage. The rhythmic thud of footsteps grows louder, a relentless drumbeat against the rising tension. The river water, once serene, now churns and swells with unnatural speed, an ominous surge. Behind the terrified villagers, the river spirit materializes, her eyes glowing like embers in the encroaching darkness. Her chilling presence sends a shiver through the air as her voice echoes, "You broke the ancient oath." A sudden, violent gust of wind sweeps across the riverbank, extinguishing all lanterns and plunging the scene into utter darkness. Screams erupt from the unseen villagers, a horrifying chorus of terror mingling with the rising river's roar. From the impenetrable darkness, a spirit's chilling laughter echoes, a terrifying symphony of fear and despair. The cacophony of panicked villagers and spectral mirth paints a vivid picture of utter chaos and helplessness. The river's ominous roar intensifies, a relentless force mirroring the terror gripping the now darkened riverbank. The river, once a raging torrent, now reveals a desolate landscape of ravaged plants and scattered debris. Villagers, their faces etched with fear and exhaustion, cautiously search the muddy riverbank. Their eyes, filled with dread, follow a trail of wet footprints leading ominously into the dense, dark forest. Suddenly, a villager spots a small, mud-stained cloth, not far off his favorite teddy bear, chilling discovery amidst the wreckage. The clothing, unmistakably Chica's, lies abandoned on his teddy bear, a stark symbol of lost innocence and impending tragedy. A collective gasp escapes the villagers, their hopes shattered by the undeniable evidence of their worst fears. By the river's edge, Neka stands, her gaze lost in the water, her eyes holding a profound, haunting sadness. The river's surface, now eerily calm, reflects the somber sky, a silent witness to her unspoken grief. Neka's voice, a chilling whisper, drifts over the water. The river always collects its debt. A foreboding question echoes in the air, a silent dread. Who will come next?